Hey, this is Tim from AK Endless Sports Cards. We made the hour-and-a-half trip here on Saturday morning from the North Grand Rapids area to Lansing, so getting ready to go into the show. We're going to see if we can go ahead and make some deals. Remember, one of my big goals is to go ahead and try to trade up today, and we'll see if I can make that happen. Without any further ado, let's get to the show. Alright, so we got to the show here right at 10 o'clock, and it is pretty happening. Just do a quick walkthrough of the show. Looks like we got a special Tigers card here. 55 Tigers schedule. All right. Excellent. Did you pick that up here?
Yes, just now.
Awesome. And what's your name?
Tom.
Tom, nice to meet you. My name is Tim. I have a YouTube channel. I'm from Alaska. It's called AK Endless Sports Cards.
I will look it up.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been coming to the show for a few years, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, it seems. We'll just do a bit of a lap here. Alright, so that's kind of the layout of the show. See if we can get some deals done here. Alright, so we just got back from today's show in Lansing, Michigan. The show was an absolute success. Outside of the National, this is one of the best card show that I have been to potentially ever, or at least in a very, very long time. As I said at the very beginning of this video, before I went into the mall today, I mentioned that I was looking to trade up. I brought a lot of stuff down, miscellaneous stuff ranging from like, $2 a card up to like, let's say $300 a card or so. I was really wanting to combine and condense those cards and move up into bigger cards. And so that was my goal today, and I think that I was very successful in doing so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the cards that I was able to pick up, and I'll kind of explain each one of the deals, and then you could be the judge, as to whether or not you think I did well or not. I'm very happy with what I got. The dealers are probably happy as well. Best deals tend to be when there's a win-win situation, and I think both parties were happy in all of these deals today. One other thing, though, one thing that I can say, so, I was able to do a little bit of footage and had a bonus shot there of a gentleman who was showing me something that he picked up at the show, which was really cool. But my main goal was to kind of walk around the show just so you can see what this show looks like. You can see the size of this show, and you can see that it was relatively busy. Now, after talking to the dealers, they said it had been busier in the past and that sales were a little bit slower today. But when I compare today's show to previous times of being in Lansing, today seemed pretty dang good. And I did want to say also that I have a more of a newfound respect for some of the influencers that have camera crews with them and stuff, because I don't have any of these deals that I made on camera. I'll recap them for you, and I took a picture of a deal so I can kind of show you what I traded for the cards that I got. It's just it's difficult to do when you're on your own because there's a lot of negotiating that goes into these deals, and I think just adding a camera into this without a camera crew is pretty difficult. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to the cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the recap from today's card show. So, I bought a card right off the bat at the show today that I thought was a pretty good deal. I don't recall ever seeing one of these in person. They're not like exceptionally rare, but for the time they're sort of rare, being that they're numbered to 1,000. And that is a 1998 Upper Deck Black Diamond RK Charles Woodson triple. Sticker on it's $25. It's SGC graded. I paid $20. I thought that was a pretty good deal to get a Charles Woodson rookie card, numbered to 1,000, for $20. Actually, I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I am a Michigan fan, so this one kind of made sense for me. First pickup of the day. I'm going to kind of set these cards back here. Move the camera just a touch. All right, now let's get into the trades. So I traded approximately $700 worth of cards, and I'll put the picture up on the screen so you can kind of see this particular trade. But I traded about $700 for what I viewed to be worth about $600. So, the value right off the bat, the dealer kind of had the advantage, but it was what I got that made me feel really good about this deal. And that is because I got 2 Walter Payton rookie cards. These are also SGC graded. I kind of thought that the 6, I had that valued at about $350. I had the 5 valued at about $250. So despite the stickers, I was thinking in my head, I was thinking about $600 in value. But it's hard to go wrong with 2 Walter Payton rookie cards, in my opinion. So I was really stoked to be able to make this trade. I traded a bunch of different things. The most expensive card that I traded in that lot was a 2017 Prism Silver Jason Tatum Silver. That was a PSA 9. I got a $300 value out of that. They've been selling in that $240 to $250, $260 range lately. But we had that valued at about $300, which I thought was fair. That was the biggest card. So you can take a look at some of the other cards that I traded in that lot deal also. So I traded a lot of cards with about $100 more in value for the two Sweetness rookies. The next deal that I made, I had a stack, and it turns out that there were roughly 140 86, 87 Fleer semi-stars, commons. There were a couple stars, there was a magic in there, and there was a checklist in there, but they were in kind of tough shape. But I traded that lot for a single card, and this is a card I've actually never owned. I traded it for a Derek Jeter 1993 SP Foil rookie card. I know that the sticker on this is not accurate as of today's prices. I had this valued somewhere about $350, $375. I really wanted to get somewhere about, $420, $450 for the 86, 87 Fleer. But, I really didn't want to have to go through lugging them around and repeatedly asking dealers if they wanted to trade, in bulk. They basically wanted my bulk 86, 87 Fleer for a card. I really didn't want to keep going because what I found at the show was there wasn't a lot of interest in trading for those. And so my strategy here became, let me find a dealer that's interested in them, and let me make sure that there's something in their case that I want. And this card really wasn't on my list as far as card wants, but I know that this is a very highly desirable card. Again, I valued it about $350, $375. I was okay with giving up a little extra value because, I had said before, when I look to sell stuff, I send it to my co-signer in New York. I use PC Sports Cards. It's just easier to keep track of everything and stuff like that for tax purposes. So I didn't want, and they have minimum dollar amounts that the cards need to be worth to be able to sell them. So I just didn't want to go through all this hassle. So I took a little bit less than I possibly could have had, but this is a great card, in my opinion. This is an iconic card here. So really happy with that deal as well. And then I made one final deal. This was actually as I was getting ready to leave. I kind of thought that I was done for the day. But I actually made a pretty big deal here. I gave up about $600 in value as far as my cards. Plus I threw in $100 to get these two cards. 1989 score, Barry Sanders. It has a price tag about $350. You're looking around $300. There was an outlier fairly recently, but I view this as a solid value, somewhere between $350. Plus, I'm a Lions fan. I've never owned a high-grade version of this card, so I'm actually pretty pumped about this. I had been looking at PSA 10s, but they went like $1,200 or so last I checked, and yeah, I'm just not going to do that. So this one at a 9.5 around that, $300, $350 value, I'm in for that. And then, of course, the Hoops Giannis PSA 10 at $300. I remember at the peak, during COVID times when this card shot up to be like $800, $900. And it has dropped significantly, and I like Giannis. I'm a fan. So I gave up about $600, like sale value, of a rather large lot of cards, and I threw in $100 on top to get these two cards. I figured these are worth in that $600, maybe $625 range. But again, I view it that if I'm able to consolidate, and actually trade a lot of cards up into cards of superstars, I was willing to do that. because that was my goal going into the National. So let me know in the comments if you thought that these were good cards to pick up. Like I said, I had posted a picture of one of those trades. It's hard to be able to try to video a lot of these things because there is a lot of negotiating going on. But I'm very happy with these pickups. And now I'm kind of in an interesting situation because I can hang on to these cards for PC, which I'd be fine with. Or I can look to trade these cards up into a much bigger card. Because I have a feeling that all of these cards are pretty highly desirable. I know the Woodson doesn't have a huge value, but outside of that, though, these other cards have pretty good values. And so the best part of this is if I end up keeping these, I'm totally fine with it. But if I end up looking to trade up, I could trade up into something really nice. So it might be time to start taking a look at like a Brady Bowman Chrome rookie. That could be a possibility. Or maybe even like a higher grade Peyton, maybe like a PSA 8. Just a couple ideas I've been kind of kicking around. So we'll see. Not in a rush. Totally fine hanging on to these as well. So that's kind of like a recap of my day at the show in Lansing. If you've never been there, I definitely recommend that show. A lot of really friendly dealers. Had a great time today. It was pretty awesome. And if you like these types of videos, I'm going to be filming some more this upcoming week when we go to the National. So looking forward to go into that show. That's always a blast. Just a reminder, too, if you haven't already, if you'd consider subscribing, that would be great. And remember that the opportunities for collecting sports cards are endless.